Peace and blessings to each and every one of you that is tapping in with me. My name is Charmaine. If this is your first time seeing me, and here in my space, I like to talk about my personal experiences because I believe that personal experiences are the best teachers. Now, I can describe myself as adventurous, quirky, weird, awkward, whatever. I'm me and I have a good time being me. But I want to talk about something that's like kind of serious. It started off crazy, but I want to talk about when I had my ego death. What got me to the point in having an ego death and like really seeing life clearly and holding myself accountable. Now, the way I had an ego death was through having shrooms trips. Like dead ass. That's how I had come to terms to have an ego death and how my spiritual awakening actually deepened because when I'm on a shrooms trip, like I need silence and I just completely tone everything out and I just go with the flow. I just go with what the plant is doing and I am conscious and aware of like what's going on. I'm paying attention to what I'm seeing while I'm on a trip. And while I don't it took me a while to have what a bad trip was. And what I really think a bad trip is somebody actually facing themselves. That's in my opinion, but I've never heard I've heard somebody have a bad trip story like anybody that I'm cool with, but I personally think that a bad trip is somebody coming face to face with themselves and it's just too much for them to handle. Now, when that happened to me, when I had my ego death, I started seeing all the mistakes that I have made in my life, like in adulthood, really. I felt the lies that I have told and I can feel like the way that I've made people feel, and it was disgusting. Like that's the only way that I can describe it. It was disgusting and it was painful and it was just so hurtful. And I cried. I cried for like a month straight, like no joke, because I just kept playing it over. And usually like you're supposed to like, okay, all right, this happened and this is what I'm going to do so this doesn't occur again or whatever. Me, I kept reliving that. I wanted to play everything out. So it was like I kept making myself cry over and over and over again because I seen it. It was just like, what have I done? What have I done with my life? How did I get to this point? Because this is not who I am. This is not the person that I have always been. Like what got me to this point. And I know what had got me to this point. It was it was me not knowing when to leave when I was supposed to, not knowing when to speak up at the times that I was supposed to, me not knowing when to um I was just sinning against myself. I was doing a lot of sinning against myself, not being my true self. And in the midst of that, I lost myself. And I just started doing things that is just completely against my character, things that I would convince myself wasn't that bad. But then I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that really was that bad. I probably shouldn't have told that person that. I probably shouldn't have said that, what have you. But having an ego death, that was painful. It was like unbearable. And I think a lot of people are running from that because it's forcing you. You have to face yourself and just come to terms with everything that you have done in your life. At least that's how it was for me. But I'm also extremely empathic. So I think that's why I felt more of those emotions because I was feeling the people's emotions also. And then I was feeling the hurt, that hurt part of me that was resonating with that the shame and the guilt that I had felt. I was resonating with that. So I was feeling all of these energies, and it was just disgusting, and it was an eye opener. Like, what the fuck did I do? Like, that's just what it was. It's like, what did I do? And then I just started writing. I bought a journal and I just started writing everything. And as I'm writing, I'm crying, like getting the words together. And then I'm like coming to realization about how bad things had gotten with my mom and my brother at the time. This is when my brother was still alive. But I had to come to grips with all of that. It was just hard. And I'm doing all of this on a shrooms trip. And people say what they want to say about shrooms, but shrooms is that's I mean it's a plant. I put mushrooms in my body every day, but well, not psychedelic mushrooms, but I eat mushrooms every day. But having like using it medicinally, like the correct way, like not abusing the plant, some really really great benefits come from that. And I attribute that, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do this. Let me put that out there. I'm not encouraging anybody to do that, do this, but I had the greatest spiritual awakening, and it was something that I needed because I needed to kill off and really see what I had become in order for me to get to the point where I'm at now, where I'm able to better hold myself accountable and see the picture from all the way around. I can't just see one side. I don't want to just see one side. In most cases, there are some cases where I'm just zeroed in, like when with my party, with my right leaning party, I'm just zeroed in on that. I can't see why anybody wouldn't want to be a Republican, but that's just that. But anything else, like I want to see the whole thing. I want to figure the entire thing out. I don't like jumping to the gun. And this all I attribute all of this to having gone on a trip, taking a few trips. That's where I got all of that stuff from. It just taught me to just be more humble, more observant of others, more empathetic, um, more I'm more understanding. And like I can if somebody is upset, I learned to take the emotion out of that and reel them back in, bring them back down. I don't take just that moment and just label them for that moment. Now, if it becomes a thing, if it continues to happen, then it's like, okay, now this person, they have their own thing going on. They need to get help. And I just remove myself. But sometimes people aren't aware of themselves. Not everybody is as awakened as I am or as you are, whoever is like really like that out there. Not everybody is like that. And me being able to have that ego death, I'm very understanding of that and understanding of people more. I'm more tolerable of people more. Not saying that I want to put up with bullshit and or put up with you having an excuse as to why you're in the position that you're in, and not getting yourself out of it. I don't want to deal with that, but I don't want to be tolerable of something like that because, and at one, we become our own victim to our own mind at some point, and you just got to pull yourself out of there. And I think that's why I hold people accountable so much, because I forced myself into having that ego death, which was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had to do. When I tell you, like, I had to really face my demons, like I faced some dark stuff, and I only had myself to blame. I can only blame myself. I can only look at myself. And once I was able to do that, then that's when I was able to flourish and be able to understand more and be able to come more in peace and aware that I wanted to create a peaceful environment around me. I'm more in control of the environment that is around me, and anybody that's around me, I want to make that environment peaceful for them as well. But yeah, that's my ego death story right there. Special thanks to plant-based medicine. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to share that experience with you because that is something that's really hard, especially in today's time. It's really hard to actually face that ugliness within yourself. All of us, I'm pretty sure all of us want to believe that we're perfect, that we don't have any things that we don't regret in our past, or an act that we may have done, gotten yourself in trouble. People change, but I just had a complete let go of all all of that. And yeah, that's my ego death story. And if you like that story, please be sure to like this. Share with me if you guys have any astral travel trips that you want to tell me about. I love hearing stuff like that because I don't really have people that has indulged with me, so it's not like I can have a conversation with them like, "Oh yeah, how was your experience?" I'm out of my group of people, I'm going to be the one that's more into something like that. And I also was cool with somebody that would do other substances, put other substances in their body, and that's them. That's what they think is a good time. Me, I want to learn me. I don't want to run away from me, because when you're putting that other chemical stuff in your body, you're running away from yourself. I want to know who I am. I want to know. I want to see the real world. I don't want to see no illusion, because I mean, right now we're living in an illusion. Look at the crazy things that's going on right now. And when you ask yourself, like dealing with NPCs on a daily, that's an illusion. And I think that NPCs can be like a projection of, like, kind of like our thoughts in a way. I don't know. I'm veering off path. But yeah, if you guys have any stories, let me know down in the comments. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.